All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I am Super Hot Joe that works on Mopars. Here's our Ramcharger, if you remember it. I have a short series on the Ramcharger revival, and I'm getting so very close to finishing this thing. I got the radio put in yesterday. It jams now. I was playing around and I noticed, I said, what? That's not a wire, that's a vacuum line. So I've been playing with the vacuum lines. Currently, it has ice cold air, but it blows out of the wrong vent spots whenever you hit the button. That's a different video. What I wanted to show you today, as I went driving in this and I had the sweet cool air, I'm just trying to keep my seats protected here. Anybody picking on my towel? I shut the door and I could see daylight right here at the very top when the door was closed. Then I got to looking, I got out, my piece of trim that matches up to here was low. And then I looked closer and the bottom hinge was worn out. Let me show you my hinge rebuild for the day. So sadly, this one already had the hinge rebuild kit in it from probably the early 2000s or 90s or something, but the little bushings were in. And you can buy another bushing kit, I think, but everything has worn out slightly more. So, example, here's our bushing, and here's the pin that came out. Had two pins. That was the upper, there we go. The upper, plenty loose. The lower was way loose. Get it down on there. There you go. Look at this. So that's no good. Instead of me going to find another pin kit, here's what I got. That's some sort of pipe nipple. And I like this pipe nipple because my pin, after I get it totally degreased, I can drill out that nipple to be the perfect slip fit. It's a brass nipple, and I'll be able to, if I'm very careful, thread it into my hinge. Both sides, so thread it in, cut it off, thread the other side in, cut it off, then trim it to the width that I need so that my hinge can actually fit back inside of here. Let me show you. There we go. So I don't want excess thickness sticking out on the top and bottom sides, or it won't slide in there. So let me show you kind of my process. There's my hinge. I got the first side. There you go. First side tapped. All that looks good. And there's my fitting. Just showed you a minute ago. I got a little red high strength Loctite on here. And I'm gonna get her threaded in. I'll go in and out a little bit. But basically, get it there. Tighten it down. It's pretty tight. All I'm gonna do now is take my hacksaw and just cut about half that width. My goal at the end of this, like I said, is for that to fit back inside of here. And I'd rather it be just a little bit too wide so I can take it over to my bench grinder and just touch it, or I can set it up and file it off, or I can use my belt sander and make it smooth, just so I can get the perfect fit between there. I could get out a pair of calipers and try to determine this distance and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we're tightening this stuff up. It doesn't have to be rocket surgery. So let me get that cut off. I'll get the other one threaded in, and I'll show you what it looks like. My vertical mill, also called a drill press in my shop. I got her end screwed in. That one's a little bit thicker than that one, but I think it'll be fine. I need to still shave just a little bit off this one for it to fit just perfectly into there. You can see that. Hopefully you can see that. So what I need now is for this pin, see how nicely it fits these holes, and it has a kind of a fluted end that presses in the one side, so the top side, which is the pretty side. So at the end of all this, that taps down and the pin stays in, can't fall out because it's gravity fed. So I just found a drill bit that exactly fits this hole. That is it. If anything, I might have to open it up just barely, but you think to yourself, you want these holes as tight as you can get them, but after a certain point, the pin won't go in unless they have just a little bit of looseness to them. And you can always fill that looseness with a little bit of lube, lithium grease or something. So I got this set up. This brass, so it drills pretty easily. There's our hole, nice and centered for the world to see. And I can try our pin. You may see, oh man, look at that. I think I hit it right on the first time. Let's drill the other one. There's our little hinge. It's got some nice free movement. And there's a pin. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little grease on it before I go all the way down. But it'll take a little tap, most likely. I did run my bit all the way through it a few times just to be sure it's nice and honed out, but also took my belt sander and hit the ends of these so they're very clean and won't dig in whenever I'm using it. Easier to grease it right now. See the little wear mark goes back by my little wheels. I think I have to go in from that way. Like that. Nifty. That's it. Let me roll it over and show you. There we are. I know it causes a lot of people great distress to see grease like this around that. What I'm going to do, if you ever need to get your grease to go somewhere, just take a little compressed air and you can blow it. I'm certain it was already there anyway, but just like that. And my movement is around the brass to the pin itself. So I think what it's going to actually take is me putting it on the truck, because my post here hits my rollers. Persuasion. Yeah. Look at that. Just got to break past the roller, but no more slop in our hinge, which is nice. Let me put it on the truck and I'll show you what it's all about. Here is our finished product. It's in place, looks normal to me. I gave it just a slight tilt upward, and I had a little bit of pressure on my jack whenever I was bolting it down. And I was careful to shut it slowly. I had to move my striker up just barely. So right now you got to give it that much. And we're pretty well lined up. I'll be using that trim just because it's at eye level, but also here, these are, I could even pull that one down a little bit. I think we're there. It looks good to me. There's that bottom section that I welded the big patches in and repainted. Truck cleaned up really nicely. It's been repolished again. And it's almost ready to go back home. You can use that fancy technique on any of your old Mopars if you'd like to and can't find a door hinge. Or if the door hinges are back ordered for 6 to 8 weeks and you need to fix it now, that'll do it. And it'll stay there a while. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you next time. We got real t-shirts in large, tall sizes. And the link is below. All right, Mopar people.